This is a quick win episode of the Learn It, Do It podcast. One topic, to the point, real value designed for you to put into action right away. Let's go. Hey guys, welcome back to another quick win episode of the Learn It, Do It podcast. I'm Pete, joined as always by my lovely wife and co-host Ree, and I'm going to tell you something today. You all need to stop talking about yourself.
I love this. It's so easy to fall into talking about who you are to everyone, right? You feel the need to kind of explain your services, tell your story, give background and experience. And as a business, you feel like it's your job to talk about yourself, right?
Right. Especially most people start this with their marketing material of their website. They say they get a new website, they invest the money, and which is a good thing to do. But then when it comes time to write the content, they say, we here at so-and-so company do this, and we do this, and this is all of our experience and our services and blah, 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 blah. And that is not the best way to go about, getting someone interested in what you have.
Right. I mean, I think what we're really trying to say is the harsh truth is no one cares about you.
No one cares about you. Here's what it is. Everyone cares about themselves.
Yeah.
So you need to understand as a business, nobody cares about you. Now, it's okay to have information and resources, and you can tell your story, but you have to understand when it comes down to getting someone interested in your service or your product, they don't want to hear about you.
Exactly. And I think what's really important and what we really mean by this is you really want to address the pains that your audiences are experiencing and instead of just defining your service, right?
Yeah.
I think, we also see it on social media all the time where, people are just constantly just talking about themselves. And in marketing, it seems like that's what you should be doing, right? Oh, well, people don't know the services I offer.
I just have to tell them. I have to tell them all about me.
Exactly. And there will be a time where people want to know about you, but when you take a step back and you're thinking about these initial interactions with people are in their own world dealing with their own challenges, and they want to know that there's solutions to those challenges. They don't want to know that business ABC company exists.
Exactly. Right.
And so, we want you to think about ways where you can describe a transformation that your audience is going to have. Maybe describe a solution to their problem from their perspective. We all know the 80-20 rule. And so we like to think of, 80% of your time in marketing should be spent talking about your audience and their challenges and what they're looking for. And 20% of the time is spent describing you.
Right. Your audience, when they find you online, they need to understand that you understand them. You understand. So if you're providing a solution, so for us, we provide web services. Mm-hmm. But if I sit there and say, we code in this kind of code, we do this, we use these types of images, and people don't care about the nitty gritty, especially with video. If we said, hey, we use codecs and we use this kind of gear, that's not the person that wants a video saying, they're thinking to themselves, I need to get my message out there. I want to showcase myself in this format.
Right. And
they're not thinking I need the best video company with the most gear.
Right. They're not saying, okay, well, I need lights and audio and cameras and, is someone going to do my makeup? They're not thinking that. They know they want the end result. What's the end result that they want? Well, they want more business. They want their clients to understand what they do better. They want to be able to send an email to their clients and have them know what's next in the process, whatever it is. But they want something for their clients. They're not just looking for the product you have. So an example I like to think of is like a landscaping company, right? People don't wake up in the morning and say, I want to hire a landscaper. That's not what they're looking for, right? What they want is they want to sit by the pool and enjoy their yard rather than standing behind a lawnmower all day maintaining that yard.
Exactly.
Okay. So if you sell them the idea that they're going to be able to enjoy the yard that they care so much about rather than spending all of their time maintaining it, well, now they know that they want to hire you as a landscaper. But if you just come out there and say, I'm a landscaping company and I'll mow your lawn and I'll do this and I'll do that, well, that's not having the same emotional context. It sounds like you're talking about you. Yeah. And I want you to talk about me and how you're going to help me.
Right. So think about yourself as a consumer. Think about yourself when you're hiring somebody or you're going to buy a product. Think about, why are you making that decision? Right. What is it? It's because you want something to be better, something to be easier. You want this pain to go away. You want a transformation of some kind.
Yeah.
So think about your own habits when you think about that. So when you're going to write content or talk about your business, rather than saying who am I to these people, think about why should they care.
I love that.
Think about what is going to connect you to them, And that is the solution.
Yeah. What problems can you solve for your audience? That's all you need to talk about, right? And it's happened to me before, out on the consumer side where I'll be, maybe I'm scrolling through Facebook or I'm on a website and I'm doing a little bit of research, and there's usually a section that always stands out to me where it says, does this sound like you, right?
Yeah.
And it has a list of questions that sometimes when it hits me, it's like, are you following me around and reading my thoughts, right?
Yeah, you kind of look over your shoulder and you're like, are you here right now? Like, how do you know I'm dealing with this?
How do you know that's exactly how I'm feeling, right? And so those are the kinds of things that you want to give to your audience, right? So the people that are going to be, landing on your website or finding you on social media, you want to hit them with those moments that language that really resonates with them and how they're feeling.
And you're saying, I understand you.
Exactly.
That's the biggest thing. And so you're kind of nurturing them to your business.
Right.
You're saying, I understand you. You're kind of putting your arm around their shoulder saying, trust me, I'll be your trusted advisor. I get what you're going through because we help people every day solve this problem.
Exactly.
Rather than saying, the straightforward.
Here's a list of everything I do.
Here's a list of what I do. Or here's who I am and I've done this and I've done that.
Yeah. So you really want to be like that resource that nurtures the audience that you're trying to capture, right? You have all of this valuable information that you've gained through the experience of providing your product or service throughout the years. So rather than you just, saying the things that anybody who provides your product or service can say, right? Here I am, I'm a massage therapist and I offer these types of massages, right? Yep. Instead of saying things like that, you can kind of flip the script and say, okay, maybe it's pain that you're dealing with, or maybe you're having trouble sleeping. And did you know that massage can do that? Because sometimes I think we give our audience or our potential clients a little bit too much credit in thinking that they already know they want our service. Sometimes they don't, right? Sometimes they know that they're faced with a challenge, that there's something that they're struggling with, and they don't yet realize there's a solution out there that you're ready to provide.
Yeah. And I'm going to just raise my hand and say that we fell victim to this even when we launched Learn It, Do It.
Yeah.
We put together the brand and said, this is who we are. We have 10 years of experience. We're going to put all this together to help small businesses, but that didn't actually translate.
Right.
And it wasn't until we realized what do we actually do to help them? Well, we reduce stress. We help them reduce stress in their business. We help them be more efficient. We help them make more money. And when we kind of pinpointed down, well, let's talk about these real things that you really care about, rather than just I'm going to help you because I have experience. That doesn't help anybody.
Right.
So we realized this in our own business, and I hope that you guys can figure this out in your business because it's super important. It's going to be, you'll notice when you switch the way you talk about the business and talk about the solutions you can provide, you'll see the difference in the way people talk to you.
Absolutely.
People will start singing your praises. People will start sharing you without you even asking because you are solving the problem. You're creating the transformation that they were looking for.
Right. And you're speaking in the language that they're already thinking or feeling, right? So it's going to come up for them over and over again. So we want to kind of wrap this up by thinking about, okay, how can we do this that we're saying? How can we stop talking about ourselves, right? First, you have to kind of look at your marketing, take a harsh look at it and say, am I talking about myself too much, right?
Yeah.
And if the answer is yes, which don't feel bad for 90% of us, and like Pete said, even 2 weeks ago, there's still things that I look at and say, you know what? Actually, this is too much about myself here.
Yeah.
So don't worry about it, but take that little audit of yourself. And then what you're going to do is find ways where you can start to implement this new language. So how do we do that? Well, first, you're going to start by listing all of the benefits that your potential clients would enjoy if they hired you.
And put yourself, when you're making this list, put yourself in the shoes of you're buying it from yourself. What benefits are you looking for?
Yeah.
So when you're writing down what you can do, you're not just listing what you can do, you're listing the benefits to the person who's buying from you. And that's slightly different. Some of the things might be the same, but when you have to frame it properly for it to really translate. So try your best to put yourself in the position of somebody who's your customer.
Right. And really someone who's your ideal customer.
Exactly.
Right? Because, sometimes you might find that the people that, end up hiring you aren't necessarily the most ideal. So what you really want to do is think about that ideal customer. What do they appreciate most about working with you? What are the benefits that they're going to receive by working with you? And then you're going to make a list of those things, right?
Yes. And so second, what we want you to do is list the challenges that you help them solve.
Yes.
So this is the very first pain point. They hit a challenge. We just thought about the benefits. That's secondary. Mm-hmm. The first thing they hit a challenge. What are these challenges? What is happening in their lives that is causing them this challenge?
Right. So for, my going back to my landscape example, right? Okay. So if you're the customer, the challenge that you're facing is, you don't have time to enjoy spending time with your family outside because the only time that you get outside, you have to spend maintaining your lawn, right? Okay. So that's the challenge that you're facing. So on the flip side of that, like we said, number one, the benefit of hiring you is that you can now enjoy your outside time rather than spending all of that time doing what you don't want to do.
Exactly.
All right. Then third, you want to think of the pain that causes potential clients to reach out to you. So this is very similar to challenges, but the pain, I think, kind of has that emotional context to it.
It's what pushes you over the
edge.
Challenge, everyone can have challenges and you can ignore the challenge.
Right.
But the pain's what makes you...
It's the trigger.
To do the buying.
Exactly. So think about that pain. Well, maybe the pain for this landscaping example is it's your daughter's birthday, and instead of you being able to help your wife get all the decorations together and be a part of all that excitement, you are instead, fighting with your lawnmower, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's painful, and you're not going to let that happen to you again.
Yeah.
And then fourth, I want you to think about what your potential clients might be saying or thinking. Okay. So this is very much, I want you to think in the language that they would be talking about. So, make a list of phrases that people might hear. And this is great. I've learned this, through BNI and networking is, these are the things that I want the people on my networking team, my referral team, to listen for, because if they hear this is a great way to refer me. So make a list of these things that people might be saying or thinking. And these are like those phrases where, maybe that guy's saying, oh, I am so sick of having to mow my lawn on the only nice day every week.
Yeah.
Right? These are phrases. So I want you to kind of make a Google document. This is usually what we do. Make a Google Doc or a Word doc or whatever works for you, a note in your phone. But you start to write down all of these things. List all those benefits, the challenges, the pains, the sayings, and the things that people are thinking. And use this as kind of a foundation for your marketing language.
Yeah. This is your language. This is your brand voice, as
Absolutely.
they call it. And so this is part of a brand guide that you should put together that we've talked about in some YouTube videos. It's very important because every time you go to talk about yourself, you just reference this. Because when you look back to this document and you say, is everything I'm trying to say within these guidelines of being customer focused?
Right.
And if it's not, then you just tweak it. And if it is, then great. But it's awesome to have this baseline to look back to.
Yeah.
So that you don't try to, you're not just searching every single time you're trying to put out marketing.
Yeah.
Because undoubtedly you'll start talking about yourself, because that's our default, and we all do it. We all fall victim to it. Like we said, we've been doing this 11 years and I still do it when I make stuff for myself. It's hard to do it, but if you follow these 3 or 4 guidelines and you make these lists, that will create your brand voice template. And then therefore you can just kind of be off to the races to get this going.
Yeah. You'll just have a document that you can just pull from so that you know that you're always keeping your customer in mind instead of just talking about yourself.
Awesome, guys. So thanks so much for joining us. And like I said last time, we are on YouTube. So come check us out. You can watch these episodes online, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And be sure to check out more of our videos and catch us on our podcast. Let's do it.